Happy Saturday, everyone. It's going to be a good day, and it's a very special day, all right? It's definitely not your average Saturday, because it's Olivia's birthday. So happy birthday, Olivia Neal. Hopefully you have a great day today. We're going to hopefully make it extra special with this lovely little work set. But yeah, let's get to it. In terms of our work set, we'll get there in a moment. We're going to talk about our warm-up first. We're going to start off with some plank leans, 10 to 20 alternating. Again, just to shake out the week, warm up the shoulders for later on the workout. But just get them some heat in there after the week we've had with them leading up to today. Forearm side plank, 20 seconds per side. Again, too, just getting some heat in there, stacking over that elbow, shoulder, working on that good core engagement. 20 seconds aside. Side lunge for 10 alternating. You can add some load in there if you like in the goblet position. You want to play with that. Back lunge, 10 alternating, and then we move into a single leg bridge for 5 per side. So just kind of waking things up for the lower half in the last little bit, keeping the core kind of ready to go and idle, and we have 2 to 3 rounds of that. After that, what we have is a little bit more lower body, a little narrow stance squat hold. So we're going to work on opening up that squat hold position. We're going to move into a single leg reach back for 5 per side. Sumo Squat Hold, again, working on an isometric hold to open up the hips and the ankles. 10 to 20 seconds, and then a standing lunge for 3 to 5 per side. If you want to load that standing lunge, you can. If you're like, no, I'm good, just going to use my empty hand, that's fine. Okay. After that, we're going to do a quick little practice round of the exercises we have, the front squat and the shoulder press today. And I'm going to talk about a few different modifications you can play with as well. Our workout, our happy birthday Olivia today, very similar to last week. All right, last week on Saturday we did this kind of format, this time format. It's the same format, different exercises. So what we have for you guys, we have from minute 0 to 2, you're going to take down 15 dumbbell front squats. All right, so you have 2 minutes to take down those 15 reps. So if you're like, whoa, okay, that took up a good chunk of my time, that's fine. Whatever time you have left over, you get to rest. So you get to take some time, chill out, let your heart rate come down, and then focus in on the next exercise, which will give you from minute 2 to 4, you're going to work on 15 dumbbell shoulder presses. So again, single arm, double arm, whatever you have. All right, you're going to play around with that and play around with that strict press again like we did on Thursday. Minutes 4 to 6, you'll go back to the front squat. You'll take down 12 reps, resting for whatever time frame you have left over. Minute 6 to 8, you jump back to the shoulder press for 12, resting whatever time you have left over. And then again, we finish off with minute 8 to 10, dumbbell front squat for 9, and minute 10 to 12, dumbbell shoulder press for 9, taking down whatever rest you need at the end of each of those time chunks to recover, let your heart rate come down, and let yourself get prepped and ready for the next phase. The big thing here, you guys, technically you should be getting a little bit more rest each round, for sure in the front squat, maybe not in the shoulder press, but for sure in the front squat. So keep that in mind, load yourself well, have some fun, and we'll talk about some scaling options in our warm-up, which we're going to get to. So let's get you warmed up, ready for action. Talk to you soon. All right, you guys, let's get you guys warmed up a little bit. We'll get our feet under those hips. We're going to take the arms big and tall overhead. Just going to give ourselves a little side bend, a little reach. We're going to come back to center, a little side bend. We're going to come back through. We're going to forward fold. We're going to focus on that lower half today. So we're going to touch our toes, walk up the shins. We're going to come back down, frame the foot. We'll step that foot back into your lizard. Inside hand is going to plant itself on that front foot. We're going to lock the legs in place and just turn the torso towards the outside hand. And we'll come back to center. And then we'll turn the torso, outside hand. Come back to center. And turn towards the outside hand. We're going to lower down. We're going to press that hip down to the floor. And then we're going to come back to center and open up with the outside hand. We'll twist. Come back down. Press that hip. Come back to center. Open up. One more time. Lower that knee. Press that hip. And open up to the side. We'll plant that hand. We're going to press the heel back. Stepping into our plank for a beat or two. Then we'll step the other foot up. Inside hand's going to lock onto that front foot. We're going to turn the torso back to center. Turn the torso back to center. And turn the torso back to center. We're going to lower the knee. Hands going to come to the floor. Press the hip to center, open up the outside head, come back down, press the hip, back to center, open up, come back down. One more time, press the hip, come back to center, and open up, and back down. We're gonna straighten out that back leg, step back into our down dog, set those shoulders, and just walk the heels in, just to wake up those ankles a bit. Good. From here, come back once we balance them out into our plank. Active and tight, we tip the toe, those feet up. We're gonna roll ourselves up, big stretch. Clasp those fingers, press way up overhead. We'll release those hands. Get you guys ready to go, all right? If you'd like to do a little bit more low intensity stuff, just some slower warm up, take your time, pause the video, do that for yourself. I'm gonna move into that first phase of work and get you guys ready and warmed up. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna move into our plank lean. So I'm gonna face the camera for this one. So I'm gonna face you guys, I'm gonna get set up in that good plank position. I'm gonna tuck and squeeze my hips and ribs together, press through my shoulders and grip the floor. I'm gonna maintain that pressure up as I initiate through my shoulder. I'm gonna come back to center, pressing up through my shoulders as I lean to the other side. Coming back to the middle, if I need to reset, I can, or travel to the other side, and then take my time back and forth. So I'm not rushing back and forth through these leans. I'm not going super fast. I am actively pressing, shifting my weight, coming back through, actively pressing, shifting my weight, and I'm just taking that time to stay in tension and stay in that good, strong upper back position. So take your time. If you need to pause in the middle, make sure that we're maintaining the core position and the shoulder position, but do what you need to do in that. You have a range of 10 to 20 reps. Take what you need for yourself today to get those shoulders heated up. From there, we're gonna move into our forearm side plank. So I'm gonna get myself set up in that forearm position. I'm gonna get my knee down just so I can set my elbow under my shoulder. I'm gonna take it to the side. Hand is down for some support so we can get that body position up. And then I'll take my hand up, or I'll leave it to the side, or even leave it against my chest as I'm lifting through my hip, pressing through my shoulder, and I'm maintaining that good, strong position. If that's a little bit too much, I can bend my knees so I'm still in that good, straight position. And then from here, I'm going to squeeze and lift my hips and maintain that same kind of stacked shoulder position. So I'm still stacked, elbow, shoulder, over the shoulder and the hand. And I'm squeezing up through the side body to get that same engagement so that I can work on that engagement on that shoulder and that side. So play with whatever you need to there. Make sure you're solid. We don't want a droopy hip, so do what's gonna, I should say, set yourself up so it's gonna give you the best opportunity to work on that side body strength. From there, you're gonna pop up to your feet and you're gonna work on that side lunge. So I'm gonna do a couple reps facing you guys. So I'm gonna get into that nice wide stance, toes slightly turned out. I'm gonna take my hip to my heel. Maybe not in range, but that's what I'm shooting for so that I'm not loading the knee and coming onto my toe. I want to think about sitting to my heel, keeping my knee tracking the toe, and I'll take it as deep as I can make it down and feel comfortable. And then I'm going to sit down to the other side, keeping the torso up nice and tall, my feet nice and flat, and listening to my body. Because one side may allow me to get deeper, one side might not. So it really depends, but we need to listen to our body. I'm going to turn to the side for a couple of reps. You guys can see my hip going towards my heel. So what we want to stay away from is this, right? My knees going forward and my weight's going into my toes. I want to think about that, just that subtle pullback and sitting tall. So that subtle pullback towards the heel just takes my hip away, keeps my knee stacked and tracking the toe, opposed to tracking inwards and putting a lot of pressure on my patella. Okay? From there, I'm going to work on my back lunge. So I'm going to stand up nice and tall, and I'm going to work on whatever range I feel comfortable with. So I step back, I'm going to lower down, keeping my knee stacked over my heel, vertical shin, stand tall, and step. And I like to stay about hip to squat stance so that I have a slightly wider stance so that I feel more balanced and I'm not so tippy. If I face the side and I step back, my knee in the back is nice and stacked under my hip, and my shoulders, hip, and knee, our goal is to stack it one on top of the other. Take your time. Don't worry about touching the floor. If you can, do it. If not, I'd rather see you take it to the range that you can control, opposed to popping your knee off the ground. We don't want that. Okay. Our last exercise is going to be on the floor. So I'm going to lay down here, get myself prepped. My heels are just outside my fingers. I'm going to choose my lucky foot, and I'm going to either straighten it, soft knee it, or straight up to the sky. And I'm going to squeeze my glutes, lift my hips, coming to that extension that I can, and then I'll lower down. Staying square in my hips, only coming up as high as I can maintain that good position. And I'm not trying to push it so high that I rotate or I lose my position in my body, all right? So listen to your body, pay attention to that hip alignment so we're not rotating as we push up, okay? Quick little recap for you guys on that. We have our plank lean, 10 to 20, forearm side plank for 20 seconds per side, side lunge for 10 alternating into our back lunge for 10 alternating, and then 5 per side on our single leg bridge. Remember, take your time through that. Excuse me. Big yawn, wow. All right, 2 to 3 rounds, take your time. If you need to add anything in there to get yourself ready, please do so. Pause the video, take that down. We are gonna move through our next phase of work, which is gonna kickstart off with a squat hold. So I'm gonna get myself set up in my narrow stance. So my narrow stance is anything inside my regular squat stance. I'm gonna try and stay as upright as I can. My toes can be slightly out. Staying nice and tall, I'm going to pull my hips back towards my heels, and I'm just going to take it as deep as I can, and I'm going to hold this position for 10 to 20 seconds. So the thing about that narrow squat stance, you're probably going to feel it a little bit more in your shins and your quads. It's okay. Take it down, that's what it's there for. We're stretching out those ankles and working on some different positions and tissues in that squat hold. Make sure though, that we're staying in that good extended position through the back and we're not rounding out in the bottom. We're staying nice and tall throughout the whole hold, okay? From there, we're gonna work on the single leg reach back. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick my foot, I'm gonna find my balance points on that foot. I'm gonna reach my hands forward and my foot back as I lower down towards the ground. And then I stand. So I'm trying to lower as much as I am reaching back. The reach back portion is just to get that foot out of the way so I can lower down and stand tall. Key thing here, we're working on our knee alignment so our knee's not wobbling. We want to try and keep it nice and stable and strong the entire time. And remember, both legs are not necessarily created equal. So we want to make sure that we're listening to the range of motion, listening to our balance so we can get the most out of each side that we can. Our next exercise is our Sumo Squat Hold. So if my regular squat stance is here, my Sumo stance is anywhere outside that. My toes are turned out. The biggest thing is we're not quite as wide as the side lunge because we want to make sure that when we squat, my knees still track the toes regardless of how wide I go. If I go too wide and they collapse inwards, I want to bring my stance in a little bit. So we want to make sure, even though it's wider, our knees are still following those same principles they would in a regular squat. So keep that in mind, check your stance. This is going to feel a little bit more on the inner thigh, the glutes a little bit differently, all right? So keep that in mind, hard press out on those knees. As we hold this, I want you to imagine there's an elastic band from this knee to this knee, and you're keeping it tight as we press, and then we press all the way back up. So we have that really nice Sumo Squat Hold. Our next exercise is the standing lunge. So I'm going to get myself in my regular squat stance. I'm going to step 1 foot forward, 1 foot back, and I have about 50-50 weight between my feet. My back heel is up off the ground and my hips are square. So the squat hold, I like to do these with tempos, so I will count a 3 second. If you don't want to do it with the tempo, that's fine. but I find the tempo is nice, so I take it down. 3, 2, 1. Stand tall. The goal again, maintaining that good lunge position, knee over heel, back knee, hip, and shoulder, and working on that control and that nice controlled lower. All right, so finding your range, working on your lower. If you'd like to load that, goblet it up. If not, don't worry about it. Play with it, work your range, have fun with it. Build that lunge. Quick little recap for you guys. We have a narrow squat stance hold for 10 to 20 seconds. Single leg reach back for 5 aside. Sumo Squat Hold for 10 to 20 seconds. Dumbbell Standing Lunge for 3 to 5, or just a Standing Lunge drill, all right, for 3 to 5 if you don't want to load it. For 2 to 3 rounds, you'll take that through, get yourself prepped, pause the video, take it down. We are going to go through a little practice round, show you the movements, and then get you guys onto the workout, all right? So the workout movements include a front squat and a shoulder press. So I'm going to grab my dumbbell. If you have 2 dumbbells, obviously this is very straightforward, you will do it with 2 dumbbells, okay? All right, so if you only have 1, what you're going to do is 15 total reps, all right? So you'll do half on one side, half on the other, just kind of breaking up and sharing the work between the sides of the body, okay? So option number 1, we clean up the dumbbell, resting on the back, or the back of the dumbbell on the shoulder, regular squat stance, and I'm going to take my hips to my heels, taking those knees slightly out and keeping that nice tall torso. And then I'm going to stand. So I'm going to work on that nice smooth front squat and stand. All the same principles we've been working on throughout with those holds. Now we're just putting into action with our regular squat. Okay? If by chance you don't have any dumbbells at home, you're like, ooh, what am I going to do? That's challenging. Well, you can either double the reps and do regular air squats, all right? Nice and smooth, just working on double reps, or you can work on 15 jump squats. So working on that jump squat, working on opening up the hips and the knees, absorbing and decelerating, practicing that, and do that anywhere from 15 to 30 reps, up to you. So you can make use of having no load, or having dumbbell at home and saying, no, I just kind of want to work on no load today, all right? That's fine too. Pick it, have fun with it, rock it. Our other exercise in the list is our shoulder press. So what we can do, we can work through is that good solid shoulder press. I get tight, set, I press the dumbbell strict overhead into that good position, and I pull the dumbbell back to my shoulder. I squeeze, set, press, come back down, give a little pause, and then press. Something really important to think about as we get more fatigued is keeping that little pause so we can brace and then press strict, and it helps ward off this little weird kind of push press thing. So we want to make sure that we're tight and strong so that when we go to press the dumbbell, it goes up and nothing else moves. Okay? So lots of options here to play with. Think about that good, solid shoulder press, double hand or single, tight, strict press. If the dumbbell you have at home is too heavy to strict press, that's fine. You can work on the push press. So we take that nice little dip, press up, nice little dip, press up, and we can use those hips and legs to help the dumbbell up. But that's only if the dumbbell is a little too heavy to get overhead, all right, with the strict press. Another option I'll have at the bottom of the workout description is a handstand hold. So if you don't have load, you can do some handstand work. I'll have some different options for you for pike hold, box, wall, all that stuff. I'll have those options for you. We're going to stay away from push-ups today because yesterday's workout had a lot of push-ups in it. If you didn't do yesterday's, be my guest. You can throw push-ups into this one. But if you did yesterday's, please stay away from the push-up and work on something that's more vertical, like the handstand hold or the shoulder press or push press. Okay. Have fun with this one, you guys. There should be some rest in there, hopefully. It's a little bit of fast working ratio to rest, fast work, rest. Those shoulder press may take a little extra time than the front squat, but break things down, keep things clean, and have fun with this one, you guys. Have a fantastic Saturday and weekend, you guys. Be safe, enjoy, happy birthday, Olivia. I hope you enjoy your day, and I hope this makes it a little extra special, all right? But enjoy your weekend, you guys. We'll see you again on Monday for some more.